And we'll do it live. We'll do it live. Okay, so today's topic is Monday Market Madness. Monday Market Madness. Trump's tariffs are causing massive deflation. I thought that's what you said you wanted. I thought that's what you said you wanted. I thought that's what you said you wanted. I thought you said the prices were too high. Remember that? Remember when Joe Biden was the president? Everyone's like, the prices are just too high and the stock market's fake and it's just all inflated by all this extra fake money that they're just pouring into the stock market. And then they said, and if Trump comes up with these tariffs, Jerome Powell said this, by the way. Remember that guy, Jerome Powell? He's like the head of the Federal Reserve, Mr. Smarty Pants, Jerome Powell, said that Trump's tariffs are going to cause inflation. They're going to cause inflation. Oh, really? Have you seen the price of gold? Have you seen the price of silver? Have you seen the stock market? Have you seen the price of all the major, the big, what do they call it? The big seven? The big seven on the stock market, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500. Have you seen all that? Have you seen all that? I have. It's all down. Have you seen the price of oil? It's way down. All the prices are just collapsing down. I thought that's what you said you wanted. I thought you said you wanted Trump to do something about the inflation. Isn't that what you said? I thought that's what you said. Okay. Because that's what I heard. That's what I heard last year. And I've been sitting here very patiently waiting for the prices to come down. And I'm very happy about the current situation. I'm thrilled about it. I'm thrilled about it. Because I've been waiting for the prices to come down. Because I thought that the stock market was fake. So I wasn't in it. Because why would you be in it if you think it's fake? If you think it's inflated, if you think it's artificially inflated, then why would you have your money in there? That's stupid. Have you seen the price of Bitcoin? It's down. How far is it down? It's way down. Bitcoin's down, Ethereum's down, Solana's down, Dogecoin is down, everything's down. In fact, I lost a little bit of money on one of the cryptocurrencies. So, I'm sure it'll go back up. I'm not even worried about it. But I haven't lost too much in there. I just lost a little bit. And I know it's just down a bit. But here's the thing, I don't really care because that's like a fraction of my overall stuff. I'm waiting for the price of gold to come way down and silver to come way down. And if you're in the stock market, then you should be waiting for the stock market prices to come way, 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 way down. So you can buy in. So everybody said they wanted deflation, and now we have deflation. But here's the funny thing is I just heard Chuck Schumer on the radio saying that Trump's tariffs were going to cause inflation and that he hasn't done anything about the inflation. How can you say that? Did you not just witness what happened in the last 24 hours? Like, how can you see what just happened in the last 24 hours and then say, Trump isn't doing anything about the inflation? Dude, the stock market's down, I think almost, I don't know. Is it over 10%? Is it more? Is it down more than 10%? Is it like 15%? Because that's called deflation. When the prices come way down like that, that's called deflating. That means a bubble has been popped and the prices are deflating. So here's Chuck Schumer. Let's hear Chuck Schumer.
These tariffs will hurt our economy and families from one end of America to the other. Here's what the nonpartisan chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, just said. It will increase inflation and slow growth.
That was 1 day ago. They broadcast this on this news station. So Jerome Powell said that Trump's tariffs would increase inflation and slow growth. And then the markets all crashed by I think it's like 10%. I don't know. It could be more than 10%. So the prices are falling dramatically, like beyond anyone's imagination. Not mine though. I was expecting all this. That's why I sold all my stuff a long time ago. Like I sold all my stuff back in November. I sold all my stuff back in November when Trump got elected. And the prices kept going up. And I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot because it just kept going up. And I'm like, shoot, it was supposed to come down. And now it's all coming down, just like I expected. I thought that's what you said you wanted. I thought you said you wanted Trump to do something about inflation. And now all the prices are coming down. Now you can get Bitcoin. Bitcoin was at 108,000. Now it's at 78. That's called deflation. That means the prices came down. You want to buy that? That's what everybody's buying, right? What else are you buying? You want to buy cheap crap at so you want to buy cheap plastic crap at Walmart that doesn't do any good for any American workers. So that's the thing you're worried about, Chuck Schumer or Jerome Powell or whoever, because you guys are all tied in with China. You've tied yourselves in with China and some global economic system. Well, guess what? I don't care if you lose money. If you're investing with China, then I hope you lose money. I hope you lose everything. In fact, here's what I predict is going to happen, and I don't know that this is going to happen, but this is what I would do if I was Trump, and this is what I hope Trump does. I hope that, because I think what's happening right now, if this trade war continues, then China is the one that's going to lose. China is the one that's going to get hit really hard. And I think that their markets are already starting to come down. And I think they're the ones that are going to, not only is our stock market coming down in price, but theirs is going to come down and their whole system is going to start to unravel. See, people think ours is going to unravel. I don't think ours is going to unravel. I think theirs is going to unravel. And when their system in China unravels, they're going to have nothing. And then, you know what you're going to see? They're going to see them selling off all their assets to cover all their expenses over in Asia. They're going to start selling off all their assets to cover their expenses. They're not going to have any money to buy anything, because the thing that they've been doing is they've been buying up gold and driving the gold price up. So first they're going to start selling off all their paper assets, and then they're going to run out of paper assets to sell off, and then they're going to have to start selling off their gold, and the price of gold is going to plummet because they're just the Chinese are just going to have to start selling and selling and selling to cover all their expenses. And then hopefully, this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that the price of gold is then, because the price of gold came down a little bit, but then it kind of crept back up again. And I'm hoping that once they sell off all their assets, because the Chinese economy is going to go into a tailspin. Once they sell off all their assets, then they're going to have to start selling off their gold. And they're just going to have to sell, and it's just going to drive the price of gold way back down. And that's when I will go and I'll just buy shit tons of fucking gold. It'll be fun. I hope that happens. I don't know if it will. But if that happens, and if I was Donald Trump or if I was consulting Donald Trump, I would tell him to just wipe out the Chinese economy and then reestablish an American base in Taiwan and have that be the capital of East Asia. Have that be the capital of East Asia, and there won't even be any more China. China will be gone. It'll just be a big open continent full of resources for Americans to go over and exploit. Why not? You know, I was listening to this guy, this Malaysian guy. He was talking last night. I saw him on YouTube, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, or whatever, talking about how we're heading into dark times and rough times, and it's going to be bad. It's like, yeah, all these people over in East Asia are like, oh, we're heading into rough waters and it's going to be bad. Fuck that. I don't care. I don't care how bad it gets for you, because it's been horrible for Americans. This whole globalist system that was set up by the Rockefeller Foundation in the turn of the century, from the late 1800s, early 1900s, all the way through until now. See, the main Rockefeller head of the family just died a few years ago. Like, he's dead, and now Trump's the president. See, the Rockefellers are basically, the head Rockefeller guy, he's dead, right? David Rockefeller died. I think it was a few years ago. And the whole thing that he built all that up, and he built up the Bush family and the Clintons and everything. He built up that whole system, the globalist, the whole arrangement with China as the manufacturing base. That was all built up by David Rockefeller primarily. David Rockefeller, and he's gone. And it doesn't seem like the people that he was associated with are going to be able to keep that going, because it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. And so Donald Trump really is bringing in a new order. So you think of it like this. Think of it as if we are actually in a war. Think of it as you are in a war. America is in a war. And now, instead of having all these globalist weirdos, we do have Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has a totally new look on everything. So let's just kind of go with this thing here, and let's hope that we can we can extricate ourselves out of this globalist system into something different, something better. And but it looks like that's what's happening. So anyway, here's Chuck Schumer again. Listen to Chuck Schumer, because Chuck Schumer is still complaining about inflation. The market's just, the price of Bitcoin just went from 108,000 to 78,000, and the price of oil came down. The price of gold just went from like almost 3,200 down to 2,900, and silver just dipped down from 35 to 28. Like everything's coming down. Oil's down. The NASDAQ, the S&P, all that stuff. Tesla's down, Nvidia's down, like everything's down. The prices are down. That's what they said they wanted. But here's Chuck Schumer talking about inflation. Him and Jerome Powell.
The nonpartisan chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, just said it will increase inflation and slow growth.
Okay, well, that's a lie. It's not increasing inflation. It's decreasing inflation. Here's Chuck Schumer to discuss Inflation Reduction Act. That was 2 years ago. Okay. So anyway, this doesn't have to be a long video, but so all this stuff from a year ago. Here's Chuck Schumer from a year ago talking about inflation. Chuck Schumer from 2 years ago talking about reducing inflation with the Inflation Reduction Act. So they were all on about reducing inflation. And meanwhile, the stock market was just going up and up, and gold just kept going up to the point where I knew when gold was going to come down a little, because you get this sense of euphoria. Bitcoin, all this stuff. When you see the euphoria, when it's going up, and it's like you see it going up, and everyone has this sense that it's just going to go up forever, and you just feel like, oh my God, it's just going up and it's not coming down. It's just going to go up forever. That's the point at which you need to sell. That's the point at which you need to realize that the market's going to come down. So, but whatever. So they were, for 2 years, they were fighting inflation for 2 years under Joe Biden. Now Trump gets in and he's got these tariffs. And all we heard about is how the tariffs are going to cause inflation. And then once they're all implemented, the day they're implemented, all the markets come down by 10 to 20%. 10 to 20% market corrections, and still following. They're probably going to fall another 10%. Whatever they're going to fall to, they're going to fall back into ranges where they actually make sense again, because all that was just fake. That was all fake, inflated money. It didn't represent any actual production of goods and services. It was just all speculative, fake, inflated markets. So I don't care about that. I don't care about anything that doesn't align with natural law. Any economic system which isn't based on natural law is doomed to failure. So if you have your money in those markets and you're freaking out because you're watching go down, I wouldn't worry about it too much, because it'll come back up. Just chill out. Just chill out. Don't worry about it. Just chill out. It's going to take a while. It might take a couple of years, but in the meantime, just invest. Get new money. Go out, make some money, and then reinvest it, and it'll all come back up. You'll be fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. But anyway, so we've got a deflationary situation happening. The other thing that's happening is compared to all the other currencies in the world, other than the euro, pretty much, the dollar is actually super strong. So if you look at it on the DXY, they call it which is an index of the dollar compared to certain currencies, it shows it being a little weaker. But it's actually just weaker in that little range. And it's super strong all across the rest of the world, particularly in Asia. So everything Trump is doing right now actually is setting the stage for tremendous economic power, and not connected to the globalist system. So I think what you need to do is you need to like make some adjustments in the things that you're investing in. Okay, look, Nvidia's way down, Tesla's way down, all that stuff is way down. All the American companies, a lot of them are way down because they were overinflated. So they weren't really worth that. If you bought them high, they weren't really worth that much. And when they went up, they weren't really worth that much. But now they're going to come back down to the range of their actual value. And so from that point on, the prices will be improving, and then you'll have new business coming in and people generating a whole kind of like a new growth of the domestic economy. And that's what we needed. That's what we've needed the whole time. If Trump didn't do this and if this didn't happen, it would have been a disaster for America going forward. So America needs to do this. Canada needs to do this. Europe needs to do this. I think at some point, right now, the Europeans are all arguing with us and the Canadians and stuff. But at some point, everyone's going to have to realize that we're actually all in the same boat. And so it's like, it's kind of us against the rest of the world, particularly Asia. Not so much Russia, but definitely Asia. We need to change. We need to restructure our alliances, and then we need the governments of Europe and America first. That's putting the American people first, the American economy first. I agree with that. The Europeans need to do the same thing because they haven't up until this time. They've been putting this little globalist clique first and importing all these foreign people in to do all the work and destroying their own population. So that all needs to change. But anyway, I'm going to end off the video. But Trump is deflating the economy. All the fake inflated stuff is all deflating. It's called deflation. It's deflating. It's not inflating. It's deflating. Now, will some things cost more with the tariffs? Maybe. You don't have to buy them, though, if you don't want to. Just buy stuff that you actually want. Stuff that you need to make more money. So then it doesn't, there'll be a little more expense in this or that. But I mean, ultimately, what do you think of food, energy? Well, that energy should come down. The prices of energy should come down. We're loaded with energy. So the energy prices should come down. And as far as food, why are we shipping food all over the world? Why don't we just grow the food and just eat it and just have it here? I mean, Trump is trying to set up a situation, I guess, where we can have access to these other markets. But they're growing they're actually wasting a lot of our land resources to grow food to then ship it to China or ship it to some other place in the world to feed their people. When we should just how much food do we need for our population? You know what I mean? That's the way I think about it. But anyway, that's just me. I'd rather have less traffic coming into the harbors in Long Beach and less traffic coming into the harbors in Los Angeles and just get it all out of here. Like, we don't need all this Chinese shit. As far as I'm concerned, it can just sink to the bottom of the ocean. I don't want it. I'd rather have a nice, peaceful, happy wildflower meadow next to the sea instead of a Long Beach harbor. So anyway, that's what I think. Have a good night.